All right, grade 8. We are moving right along here in chapter 9. This is lesson 9.3 about finding cube roots. So essentially, when we're finding a cube root, it's the opposite of something to the power of 3. So we are finding basically when we have x cubed and we know what x cubed equals, x is what would be considered the cube root. Okay, and we'll kind of show a little more specifics and details. So here I have the cube root of 1. Now, on my calculator, if I enter a 1, and then I enter second function, which is like my shift button, and then I enter this button right here, this 3x. So you see this 3 right there? Okay, kind of show you this 3 right here. All right, that's the cube root, okay? And that shows here that we're doing cube root. So I press 1, press that second shift, cube root, and it gives me 1. It says that the cube root of 1 is 1. Well, that's true, because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And so it gives me the cube root. Here I have 343. So let's go back to my calculator. Let's enter 343. Okay, once again, second function. Okay, and we're going to enter that second function again. Then we're going to enter that cube root right here. See what it gives me? It gives me 7. And that's the idea, basically, with the cube root of 7. That's telling me that 7 to the power of 3, or 7 times 7 times 7, 7 cubed, which is what anything to the power of 3 is, equals 343. All right, let's look at our third example, negative 27 over 100. So we're going to go 27. We're going to enter our function button. We're going to press 100. All right, and then we're going to say, okay, second function. All right, then we're going to go cube root. All right, right there. And it gives us some weird decimal number. All right, let's try this. All right, let's just enter them individually. I think that's going to work better. Let's go 27. And second function, cube root. That's going to equal 3. All right. And I think it read it differently in my calculator. And then we're going to go 1,000. Second function, cube root. And I get 10. 3 over 10. But I know it's going to be a negative. Negative 3 over 10. That tells me that negative 3 over 10 to the power of 3, negative 3/10 to the power of 3 is going to be negative 27 over 1,000. Now, just to kind of, let's try something here. Let's say I'm going to put parentheses. Okay, 27 over 100, close parentheses. Okay, now try second function, cube root. Still kind of gives me that, which is kind of weird, but that's okay. I get 3 over 10, which I know is 3/10. All right, and so in that situation, you just want to take the individual numbers, apparently, is what we want to do. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Evaluate the expression. 18 minus 4 and the cube root of 8. Well, first of all, let's figure out the cube root of 8. Let's go 8, second function, cube root, we get 2. So the cube root of 8 is 2, which makes sense because 2 times 2 times 2, 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So I think 4 times 2, if I know that this is 2, then I'm thinking 4 times 2. This is just like a number next to a variable. I know that 4 times 2, I know then that that's 8. That leaves me with 18 minus 8, which I know is 10. Let's do a different one. The cube root of 64 to the power of 3. So that's something interesting. Let's go open parentheses. All right, let's see how this goes. Open parentheses. We're going to go 64. Second function. Cube root it. That gives me 4. Close parentheses. Then I'm going to cube that. So I'm going to go So I took care of this. I opened parentheses, I cube rooted 64, close parentheses, but now I need to cube that, okay? So I'm gonna go press my y to the x button, 3 equals 64, and that makes sense, because if I started with 64, I cubed it, then I squared it again, or I cubed it this way, found the cube root, and then cubed that. It's gonna leave me with the same thing. So that's gonna give me 64. But then I'm going to add 43 to that. I can just come to my calculator. I already have 64 plus 43 equals 107. That's my final answer. So I'm just evaluating the expressions. Now, cube 5 times the cube root of 512 minus 19. So let's first worry about the cube root of 512. So let's clear our calculator. Let's go 512, second function, cube root, I get 8, okay? So essentially then this becomes 5 times 8 minus 19, okay? Now I know that 5 times 8 is 40, so that becomes 40 minus 19. 40 minus 19 is not hard to do, but just to confirm with our calculator, 40 minus 19 equals 21. And I find that that expression equals 21. All right, let's look at the next part. All right, this one we're just going to do one example for, because I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Evaluate the expression for the given value of the variable. So it's the same instructions as what we did before, okay? But just now they're putting variables in and they're telling us what the variable equals. So w equals 288. It's the cube root of 6w and then minus w. And w equals 288. So the first thing I want to do is figure out what 6 times w is. And so I'm going to enter into my calculator 6 times 288. So I'm going to come in here, 6 times 288. What does that equal? 1,728. So I'm going to come here, and instead of 6w, I'm going to put 1,728. Now I also know that w equals 288, so I can replace this w with 288. Okay? So cube root of 1,728. I have 1,728 already there. I can press second function, go to my cube root button, I get 12, okay? So this whole thing, the cube root of 1,728, and I can erase that, okay? Notice how I'm just erasing things as I figure them out, 12. That leaves me with 12 minus 288. Well, 12 minus 288, that's clearly going to be a negative number, negative 276. So negative 276, that's my final answer there. Not hard. All right, one last section, grade 8, and then we'll be ready to move along. Solve the equation. So now I'm solving for the variable. Okay, now this first one is x to the power of 3, or x cubed, equals negative 1,000. So I'm trying to find x. So all I'm trying to do really here is find the cube root of negative 1,000. I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to type in 1,000 and then make that negative. All right. Go to second function. Go to my cube root button, which is kind of that 3 there with the square root and the x. And I get negative 10. X equals negative 10. And that's my final answer there. All right, 3c to the power of 3 equals 1,029. Well, I want to go through that same process. I want to isolate c to the power of 3 by dividing both sides by 3. So I can eliminate the 3 by coming over here and dividing both sides by 3. If I divide this side by 3, it just leaves me with c cubed. And then I'm going to take 1,029 divided by 3. I'm going to come over here to my calculator, clear it out. 1,029 divided by 3 equals 343. So c to the power of 3 equals 343. Okay? So 343, I got to find this cube root of it, though, because now it says c to the power of 3 equals 343. So I'm trying to find the cube root of that. Okay? So 343, second function, cube root button, and I get 7. So I get c equals 7. Final answer. All right. So here's an interesting one. 33 equals negative 1 to the power of 5, m to the power of 3 plus 8. Trying to figure out the cube root. Well, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to try to isolate the variable. So let's clear some things out here. Let's go ahead and subtract 8 from over here. That gives me 0. But if I subtract 8 from this side, I need to subtract 8 from this side. 33 minus 8 is 25. So now I'm left with 25 equals negative 1 over 5 m to the power of 3. Well, I want to isolate m to the power of 3. So I'm going to be taking 25, and I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1 to the power of 5. That'll leave me with m to the power of 3 here, and whatever that is here. So I want to take 25, which is what I have here, and I'm going to divide it by negative 1 over 5. So I'm going to take 25, and I'm going to divide that by, I'm going to open parentheses, 1 over 5, negative, close parentheses, equals negative 125, which is what I was thinking it should be. So that leaves me now, because with negative 125, which is what 25 divided by negative 1 over 5 is. And when I take this side and divide it by negative 1 over 5, it just leaves me with m to the power of 3. Which means now I just need to find the cube root of negative 125. That's already in my calculator. Okay? So I'm going to press second function. Cube root equals negative 5. M equals negative 5. Final answer. All right. Talk to you later, 8th graders. Bye.